edgy, taking off the
well, this is always something that I've, as we head into the next draft, by the way, there's always something I've considered in other forms of RPGs, more pen and paper ones. There are characters who have voice-based ability, like one of them called Cutting Words, where literally you say something so distracting that you lower someone's attack roll.
Okay.
And I like to think it's that kind of thing that you get with taunt heroes in the game. Like, obviously, Variant does do that, which is, I can't remember what Variant's taunts are now. No potion, that's a good one. And, what are Garrosh's? I should know Garrosh's, I play him a lot.
I don't play him at all, but doesn't he say something like, kneel before the true horde, or something like that? Yeah,
Possibly.
kneel before the true horde. I think that's one of his quotes.
We're going to get them spammed in chat. They'll tell us very quickly. But I quite like that idea, so I imagine the Triad was something like that, where it's just something super offensive, like, I don't know, your mother was a planetary fortress, or something like that.
Face me for the true horde. Yeah,
Face me from the forest. Yeah. For the true horde, face me. Yeah, these are all good ones. And Garrosh is banned out, so we're not going to get to sit here in this game.
All right, we're not going to see.
Oh yes, also that is an excellent point there. As the same character who has that ability, you can insult someone so hard that they die. That is a thing, an ability you have in that particular game.
I know one of those insults in real life.
I'm not going to ask it because I don't want to die.
It's easy. If I don't direct it towards you specifically, you're not gonna.
Okay.
You're not gonna perish.
I'll brace myself.
You play Horde in WoW. Got him.
So Malfurion was picked first. Unsurprising.
All right. Now that we have triggered chat enough to get active once again, let's focus back onto the draft for game number 2. So KT in the lead, 1-0. Once again, like today, I think it's just the day of upsets. I never thought the one would get a clean 2-0 over Soa before. It's just so cool to see how China is just such a mixed bag of like results. You can never. It's so hard to read the league at the moment. Even then, after this series, we're gonna have the absolute top match of the day between SPT and CE. We can't really predict any potential outcomes, can we? I mean, we can, but is it going to shape up like that? That's not a given.
Exactly. Both these teams have had issues coming into this with their earlier week play. CE looked a little bit stronger earlier in the week. SPG potentially looked a little bit stronger now. So it'd be interesting to see how well they both perform, as Greymane is picked up, stolen away once again from RPG, but RPG already do have a hero that Timeless can play in the form of Genji. Question of, are they going to give it to him?
Are they going to give it to him? That is the question. By the way, I just noticed that RPG, do they actually have a dedicated tank player anymore? Because it's so weird to me that sometimes Chicken takes over the role.
C is their dedicated
yeah, okay,
tank
C.
player.
Yeah, C is probably the only member who doesn't swap role. Swap roles. But speaking of C, by the way, I really like this
did. Yeah, his Tyrion was pretty good, but also I do actually think that C did not actually play tank yesterday, now that I say that, but that was like a one-off kind of thing. Let me double check. C, drafts, matches. Yep, played Malthael yesterday for maximum possible confusion. So, yes, he is the main tank player, but sometimes RPG just like to throw standard roles up into the air.
All right. Yeah, so what can we expect here from RPG? It could be Timeless on the Genji. Would that be your guess as well, or do you think he's going to fall back onto the Sonya?
I would lean for it to be Timeless, but I think there's a good chance we could maybe see Sar on it. Sar might wish to do it, but the Sonya seems... Yeah, no, I forgot about Sonya. Yeah, the Sonya seems way more Timeless from the role he's fitting in with RPG. So the Genji will likely be Sar, with a good chance of it possibly going over to Chicken as well.
Could be either of those. So Jaina, which is pretty much a China special. I mean, Korea plays her every now and then, but they're definitely not putting as much emphasis on that hero. Tigers get shut down as well. I think Chicken was actually doing a fairly admirable job on the Tigers. I think it was probably one of his strongest showings up to this point. On the Jaina, on the mages, he wasn't really able to convince me too much. But on the Tychus and his reckless plays, but calculated risky plays, I think he was doing pretty okay.
I would agree. I think he's doing not so bad here. As we wait to see what the next pick for RPG is, though. Like we said, they have a Tsar or Chicken hero and probably a Timeless hero, which could also be Chicken if Chicken drops back to old roles. So the potential is there for them to open with pretty much anyone here. The only people they need a hero for right now are MJ and C.
Yeah, MJ, of course, is easy to read, so he's C, the main support and the main tank players. Now, the Stukov was all right. It is actually still available. KT decided not to ban the second in command in the support role. They don't even pick it up. Although it worked pretty okay for them, they still tried to make the infamous Divine Dragonblade work, which I don't really mind. They even take away the Anubrek, which Tetra can sometimes be a counter to the Genji.
Exactly. If you can drop the Cocoon on Genji before the Divine Shield comes down, then you can have a marvelous time, wind out that Dragonblade, and have a really good time. And of course, if not, then Cocooning the Uther will prevent any kind of engage from Genji at all. KT bring out the false stat this time. They're going to try and show him how it's done. Bit of disengage potential if they need to.
All right, so Falstad is being deployed once again. And I'm still a defender of the Falstad. I think it has its place. And Diablo on Kaito, no surprise, turning it around potentially. So this is looking scary. This is looking very scary for the Anubarak. Why? Because Season Marksman Falstad is going to hit like a truck on the Beetle, who's very susceptible to physical auto attacks. Greymane, I mean, we don't even have to talk about his Worgen attacks. And Diablo in the late game, if he stacks up the devastating charge and gains access to dominance, Anubarak is not going to be in a good spot.
This is true. Anub is, much like most insects, a little bit squishy. And RPG respond with Cassia, very reasonable. Falstad is played as a melee very often these days. Cassia a little bit harder to deal with in general. I mean, yeah, looks pretty good.
Meng showed us the magic of Cassia before, a hero that is not undisputed. I do have my grudge with Cassia in many games, but when Meng made it work before, I gained a little bit of trust back into the pick. However, RPG, I'm not sure if I'm happy with them falling back onto Cassia as the last resort. True, against the Greymane, even against the Falstad, it could be nice because of their sustained auto attacks, right? But against the Diablo, if he locks her down with roots behind, with the slows, I'm a little bit worried for her. But it's not like there isn't any potential to save targets in need that are getting sent by the Diablo, right? We're going to probably see Uther with a cleanse, Uther with a Divine Shield, so maybe it's going to be enough to keep people alive.
I mean, with this amount of CC on the team, it's not out of the question to even see the Guardian of the Ancient Kings. But when you're against Diablo, cleanse is so important to remove follow-up that I doubt that's what we will see.
And then, of course, I totally forgot about the Twilight Dream that we could see from the Malfurion, potentially hitting Uther. That would be the worst-case scenario for RPG and the best-case scenario for KT. If you shut down the Uther before he casts Cleanse, before he casts Divine Shield, that could be all she wrote. For now, though, guys, we're going to introduce the teams once more on the left-hand side. Currently down 0-1. It's RPG in the blues with Chicken on the Cassia, MJ on Uther. Sa is playing the Genji this time, C on Anubarak, and Timeless on Sonya.
And on the right-hand side, it is going to be KT with Hope on Falstad, Kaito on Diablo, TWT on Malfurion, Lycia on the Tyrael, and Zism is playing the Greymane.
Okay, Timeless on the Sonya. He is quite the beast on that hero, especially on melee assassins and just bruises in general. I love seeing Timeless, where he works his magic. On Malthael last game, he didn't really do too poorly, but oftentimes he was hindered by his own teammates to really unleash his full potential. For now, Anubarak once again going for Regen Master. He realizes, you know what, there's not a dedicated mage, there's no Gul'dan. Chicken already being flung into the enemy team's backline. Sa diving deep, deflecting a little bit, and all the while, a 4 versus 5. Not too shabby for RPG, dealing a little bit of damage, but already Falstad is flying up to the top lane before missing any precious minion speed.
Very curious why RPG took that, considering that was a 4 versus 5, but they're alive, so I guess that's all that matters here. And Noob able to tunnel out before even getting rooted, so very good job there. And with Falstad flying top lane, a perfect opportunity for Genji to consider paying a visit, but for now, he's hovering around in that middle jungle area just in case.
The thing is, though, although RPG survived these early fights, 4 versus 5, true, that is already pretty awesome. Genji, by the way, going in for the gank. Does he have enough? The deflect? Oh my
get him.
goodness.
No, Diablo, get him.
Kaito!
Did Suplex City. And Kaito picks up first blood.
Not only is Kaito a teamfight monster on that Diablo, but he seems to have the nose, right? He seems to have the senses where to find those easy kills, getting them easy peasy. Oh, that must feel very frustrating for Sa, and he keeps to, you know, Sa is just not having a good day, it seems. On that false hit, he was wonky, to say the least, and now on the Genji already shaping up to be a little shaky, as on the Genji shaking things up a little bit. He's going to have to find his rhythm right here, right now, otherwise it might be too late for them to recover.
So we see C just grabbing the point up here with Genji, the opportunity to rotate, but Genji's currently chilling in bot lane. A very strange rotation, the fact that it's almost an entire lane swap coming out of RPG.
Yeah. So the lanes are completely split right now. The Knight Camp for RPG on the top side is, of course, slowly but surely approaching. But then already they're going to have to face yet another mercenary threat in the bottom, with Greymane taking care of things so quickly. And you can really see a different approach, 2 different playstyles right now. KT is playing the map game. They're trying to get mercenary camp after mercenary camp, take down structure after structure. Every tower matters in the race to level 10. Whereas RPG is still playing the classic, you know, we're going to try to catch someone, we're going to try to kill someone with the Genji. Let's see if they can make it work. Sa once again going.
Just putting the pressure on. He knows at least some of the members of his team are on the way, but they're kind of distracted by Diablo. He needs to keep an eye on them. They need to keep in contact as to do they actually intend on joining. Nice use of the Trent there, actually, the Treant, to block the initial javelin from Chicken, who is deleted, quite frankly, because that was a nice engage once again by Kaito.
Yeah, this is just not a fair battle anymore at this moment. KT is just all over the place. They seem to be able to read every move that RPG is trying to make here. The increased range, once again, the Shadow Charge is just too crazy for KT. Diablo does whatever he pleases. There is no tank training available at all. He's the king of Dragonshire at this point, and I don't know, man. It really goes to show how focusing on kills and trying to get ganks flowing and working is just not the way to play sometimes, especially not in Dragonshire. If you control the map, if you control the mercenary camps, the Shrines are going to be yours, the Dragon Knight is going to be yours, and I think that's what KT is trying to go for next.
You see Kaito there wrapping around against 2 heroes just in case he could catch out MJ, and he knew he was tanky enough to do so. Lycia is coming in, as is Timeless and Sa, so it's actually going to be other than Falstad, who's on the way, but actually no, Falstad just stealing the Dragon Knight. But while this is happening, a full team fight in the bot lane. Kaito is dropped low, but look at Sa, he's got so little hit points so he can't even engage. He gets hit by a cocktail. Kaito is down. Like I said, 5 versus 4. This should be a 1 fight, but it's turning into a 1-for-1, and Zism still tanking through. Finally, we're seeing Chicken able to pick up the kill, but he eats so many tower hits, staying far too long, and Chicken just getting healed up by Uther. They'll get Lycia here. That's going to make it a 3-for-1, but in the meantime, their mid lane is dying.
Their mid lane is dying, but I also can't understand why KG just didn't back off. Why were they even trying to fight back? All they needed to do was maybe lose a team member here. Like, 1 is okay, 2 is acceptable, but 3 gave so much experience over to RPG that this reckless brawling, this reckless fighting actually paid off for them. I was already starting to question RPG in the first place. Like, why do you commit so hard onto focusing Diablo? Kaito is so tanky, but yet they were basically persistent and so tenacious. And they were rewarded for it. Like, this normally shouldn't happen. If you're watching this, guys, at home and you play Hero League, Team League together, don't focus on Diablo like that. It usually fires back quite heavily.
So good news for RPG here. The fact that for starters they were able to get that many kills means that they're not so far behind the XP, even though they lost their fort. Other good news, they didn't actually miss much lane XP because Sonya went top pretty quickly. Even more good news, front wall in top lane has been absolutely destroyed via said Sonya. They are still behind. In fact, they're almost 3/4 of a level behind. But they are in a position where if they can pick up a kill or maybe 2, they can easily come back.
Yeah, And that's exactly all they're trying to do right now. They're assembling in the bush here. They may try to go for a Diablo again. If that spear had landed, I think Anubarak would have followed up with a burrow charge. For now, though, they're trying to go for Tyrael. He's got the Eldrin's Might. Easy escape here. But already driving Licia back on the Tyrael buys enough time to take care of the mercenaries. But already, look at Greymane. With the help of, I think it's Malfurion, yeah. With the help of the support, they're going to be able to take yet another Knight camp. And this constant mercenary pressure is just something that RPG needs to deal with a little bit better.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem if they don't deal with it at some point. To see being forced to use one of his main engage abilities to retreat due to the pressure that Kaito puts on. A little bit difficult to deal with. And this was an attempt to force something due to the fact KT had their level 10s. And they're still able to keep some pressure on, but seeing as RPG all did survive, Sonya's had time to clear top lane. The mercenary camp for RPG is available. Here's Kaito once again. But level 10 is super close, and this is going to be up to Sonya to soak it. This is more of a distraction. Kaito has no intention of engaging.
Kaito is dodging the Kase Qs. He was dodging the Impel by Anubarak as well, and all of a sudden, this mercenary camp belongs to them. Diablo is saying, thank you very much. I'll take that. My team wasn't even with me. That was a fantastic bluff.
Yeah, if they'd called it, it could have been bad, but level 10 wasn't there. They made a perfect move at a 9.9 before the XP was able to be soaked. Grabbed both mercs at the same time, and as such, KT able to keep some control there and kind of negate any counter-attack opportunity from RPG.
Ball Lightning now available, just like X-Strike Corsair. He's trying to go the safe route this time around. I can't really blame him. There's a lot of threatening abilities available for KT, so having an additional escape or an additional gap closer to chase someone like Falstad can oftentimes prove to be the better choice. Ooh, Zizum, speaking of which, he is exposed. He takes extra damage from those balls. It's not enough, though. The X-Strike finishing him off, though.
Dragon Knight is taken because everyone from RPG came down for the fight. And they're only able to pick up one kill. Sneaky Dragon Knight once again taken away by, I think that is Falstad. Yeah, it is.
Falstad's global mobility, of course, proving to be quite the boon for KT. They can always outdance and outmaneuver their opponents, it seems. And that was a worthy sacrifice, a noble sacrifice by Greymane. Tyrael, in the meantime, used Eldrin's Might. This is where Sonya goes in, waiting for that moment here. But Tyrael is none to be trifled with.
And that entire scenario is a little bit iffy to me. The fact that they've sent 5 people down to bot when the Dragon Knight was double channeled against a Falstad. They're not expecting the Dragon Knight to be taken. Uther suffers from the lack of pursuit of justice, which he's probably going to be quite upset about, but Noob allowed him to turn this round. This is a 4 versus 5. This is what, actually, no, it's a 3 versus 4. What are they doing? As you see them pulling back here, Sonya is currently fighting the Dragon Knight alone. Finally, Genji is going to arrive, but we're seeing Chicken taking so much damage. Is he going to have to self-divine shield? No, oh no, so not self-divine shield, get divine shield by MJ, but so far he's surviving. Good fend. Kaito just misses the wall as Sark continues to pile on pressure onto the backline, looking for Zizum, but the shields from Tyrael just too good. Chicken's down, but there goes the counter kill onto Greymane.
What is happening? No one even cares about the Dragon Knight. It was destroying the entire top lane. All RPG wants to do right now, actually Saw going in deep there as well. But, oh, what? Saw, you can't do that. Okay, he has the flank ready. He has another cyber agility jump ready. I think he's going to die.
Swift strike when? Swift strike how? Swift strike no, as he goes down.
RPG, you were managing to stay in the game so well because of good soaking, because you didn't take too many hits from the Dragon Knight. But you have to realize that through time, the Dragon Knight scales in power, and already after 9 minutes, it's more than capable of taking down forts single-handedly. That's exactly what happened in the top lane, right? So KT destroyed all 3 forts, which results in a commanding lead XP-wise. But still, RPG refuses to let go. They just seem to be like a honey badger, trying to really just keep going for those team fights over and over again, despite being a talent behind, despite being 3 forts down. I'm not sure if they're going to be successful with this very predictable, very one-sided approach to the game.
Eldrin's Might with a pretty good holy ground has completely isolated C, but the root, once again, that little delay before root activates on Malfurion, saving the life of C. Gust used on Timeless. They're just going to try and blow him up here. Uther is right next to him, so could try and just block the healing as Sarp moves onto the backline. This is the full commitment. Apox gonna hit no one here, and Falstad is taken out. Divine Shield saves a Nubarak. Timeless pulling back. Extra great value here. But here is the sanctification to prevent any follow-up on it. Timeless whirlwinding to freedom. Genji dashing for the base. He makes it.
No
Is
way.
the cocktail available? No, it isn't. And Chicken is one-man army looking for that Malfurion, but he can't do it. Too greedy. Saw will become the killer Malfurion, but now they're able to turn it around into a 3 versus 4 if they want to.
4 Siege Giants constantly bombarding RPG there. Forces them to stutter step and move even more. But as you said, the one-man army known as Chicken on the Cassia, that was quite at the sight here. And if it hadn't been for Go for the Throat and Greymane's ability damage resulting from that, I think he could have actually cleaned up the entire backline there. So well played by Greymane, by Zizm. But can he do it again? They're trying to contest here. The bottom shrine, the holy ground can be used. There it goes. Double
Take
shrine
it,
control.
Diablo, guys, Diablo.
Oh,
That was
barely.
so close. They delayed that. They delayed that. If that Dragonite had gone over, that would have been their own fault. Poor man.
Okay,
They
so
tried to
RPG,
chase the breach.
yeah, they're looking good for now, but 16 is already around the corner for KT, and that is going to be yet another talent advantage. But hey, who cares about talent advantages or disadvantages, right? It's HGC China. We're watching RPG. They're just going to fight. They're just going to fight no matter what.
Looking for Sism, but they can't lock him down. He begins to drop a little bit of counter damage. Trient tries to scout the bush, decides it's not interested anymore.
Genji in the middle is in trouble. We saw Diablo engage. If you saw the health bars, Falset was also nearby. But that means it's still a 4 versus 3. But even then, Diablo is coming into the bottom lane, and Malfurion kept everyone safe with just the healings.
C is still alive. Sanctification, though, preventing a huge amount of the counter, and down goes C. Hope sneaking away with that extra movement speed. He's going to try a fly gust. He moves in. Oh,
That is a very interesting moment to pause the game. Did you just... Saw, what was he doing on the Genji? He was running towards the Falstad. He didn't even have vision on him. He was behind the gate, abandoning his teammates in the back. Falstad took a sip from the healing fountain, is now currently flying behind the enemy lines. That could definitely be a good gust location. But this is already not looking so good for RPG, was it?
no, that was a rough fight with C down already. 2 levels down, 1 talent down. I can see slight issues with this entire scenario. Yeah, this is a tough fight to be able to win from RPG side with the situation they've managed to currently put themselves in. And I don't think it's going to improve. This gust could be the death of Falstad, and I'm going to call it now is going to be the death of Falstad. This is kind of daft. But this should still be a pretty much a full team wipe here by KTA. That's my prediction.
So here's my explanation, right? This Genji behavior was so weird, even for Genji standards. We all know Genji players are sometimes acting weird, you know, jumping behind walls only to fall because of miscalculating mana or cooldowns. However, my only solution here, or potential solution, would be that Sa and the Genji had a disconnect, and the bot took over for a second or two, just blindly running towards the gate because he thought the Falstad was there. So maybe that could be an explanation, but... truth be told, in this game, there were so many wonky decisions made by RPG that it wouldn't even surprise me if they were still trying to go for a fight like that no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, X strike in, get your reset, leave with hope you don't die to towers after cyber agilitying. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? I can't see any way that it could backfire.
Once again, though, we have to highlight Kaito and that Diablo. I mean, it's quite easy for him to look good in this game in the first place because the early game pressure just wasn't really there. He had all the time in the world to farm those soul stones, and then now that he has a lot of them accumulated, I think it's just so easy without any dedicated tank trading. Oh, we're back in the game. To just look good. Falstad dies.
And so does the rest of RPG, except for 2 members. Okay, so I was almost right, but 2 members survived.
Yeah, Genji actually lived after positioning himself quite questionably. But still, a 1 for 3 trade is definitely good value for KT. Definitely worth it. And they're going to get a Dragon Knight. And they even took the Merc at the bottom. Man, KT is just looking solid.
They really are. They're grabbing the Merc camp. Cassia is porting back to base after grabbing her team some XP. So she will be prepared for the defense here. And everyone is going to be alive for this, actually. Sonya only 8 seconds away. Falstad, though, also pretty will be up pretty soon, so he'll be able to fly in.
Sonya is, of course, going to be crucial here to the team's success when it comes to defending this, right? Highest single target DPS next to Cassia. Definitely going to be a welcome sight to keep this Dragon Knight at bay, but already this Mercenary camp providing The magic aura protecting a little bit of stellar damage. Here goes the kick onto the Cassia. The strongest sustained damage dealer needs to be punted away. Sonya in trouble, gets the Divine Shield. She's going back and healing, reaching up, spinning to win. But it's not going to be enough. The keep falls. 16 is still not there for RPG. Are they still going to try to make a reckless move?
Sonya's still trying to put on some kind of pressure to hold her team into this game. Genji X-strikes himself as an escape tool here. Dragonite chases him in and will actually die to the core here. Not ideal, but C gets Diablo'd and taken out easily here. And the push will continue ticking. It's getting good value from those charge strikes though, but Diablo in position for the APOC combo. Genji tries to help but ends up getting dashing into the root, greatly placed by TWT. And with only MJ and Sonya left and the sanctification as well, this is going to be game, and that is GG. KT take game number 2 and the 2-0.
In the meantime, just Diablo killing a couple more dudes. So well done by Kaitu. I think this is by far the best Diablo that we have seen in the league up to this point. True, the opponents yesterday and today may not have been the most challenging ones ever, but it still takes a lot of expertise and good decision making to know when to go in, where to slam the targets towards. So strong performance once again by the entire team of KT, continuing their winning streak. Actually, 2-0 yesterday, 2-0 today.
Yeah,
that is quite enlightening, quite cool to see.
With that winning streak, they actually put themselves, in terms of points, tied with SOA after today. SOA lost in the 2-0 to the 1. So that's a pretty good place to be.
Who would have thought? SOA placing at the tippity top of the table after week 1, now falling short because they had to face a couple of really, hard opponents. And all of a sudden, KT swinging it up from behind, coming in from the bottom of the table, and now equalizing the score with SOA, who went down 0-2 today against the 1. So China is in turmoil, with the exception of the top 3 teams, the 1, CE, and SPT. All the teams are starting to look shaky and unpredictable. I like the chaos. I like the mayhem. With the exception of RPG, they still look kind of...
They're a little bit shaky, same with Sunny Line.
Yeah.
Both of them, little slight problems. When did they play each other? Did they play each other yesterday? Or am I remembering that wrong?
They played yesterday, exactly. No, sorry. Sunny Line played KT yesterday. And RPG faced SBT, if I recall correctly.
Round 7? No. So it's got to be like in some of the earlier days? Yes, it was it was day number 2, and it was a 1-1 score.
Mm-hmm. With a fantastic comeback, if I recall correctly.
Yes, I think you are correct. So, yeah, both those teams looking a little shaky.
And you know what? I think, I'm normally always trying to defend China against people who are like, China only knows about brawling. All they care is just hiding in bushes and fight over mercenary camps to the death. But I think KT especially showed us that this is not always true. Not always, sometimes. But they really knew how to play Dragonshire, in my opinion. They had spot-on mercenary timing. They were realizing, you know what, if we just kite RPG a little bit around the map and we just don't fight before level 10, we always only fight with a talent advantage, then we're going to win no matter what, and that's exactly what they did. Whereas RPG, unfortunately, they represented everything people say about China, right? Just tunnel vision on, locked on target, must follow, must chase, must kill, and if it doesn't work, there's nothing left to their playstyle.
And here are the final stats, 8-17. KT in dominant fashion. RPG not even able to take down a building, or at least a fort in general. It's not too surprising. KT were very much in control of that entire game.
Yeah. 17-8, by the way. That's my birthday.
Huh. Good. Cool. Nice.
Still takes a while.
I mean, it's written in the American method.
Oh, exactly. Don't even get me started on the American way to write dates. It's just so infuriating. No one in the world does it. Only the Americans do it. And
yeah, it's
just like Fahrenheit.
It's
Who uses that?
Fahrenheit. Oh, what's the point of that? It's all about that Kelvin, baby.
All right. Although I think the British do have some unique traits about them as well.
Oh, we have loads. We drive on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, that would have been my first point.
Miles. Yeah. We use miles instead of kilometers.
You know what? My car actually, I turned on my car the other day, and for no apparent reason, I didn't do anything to it. I didn't even touch the controls. Mm-hmm. My kilometers are now displayed in miles. So I no longer have a good measurement of when I need to go to the next gas station, how many, what the distance was that I drove up to this point. I always have to calculate it in miles now because I can't seem to find a way to turn it back. So when I
see now, to me, this is
So weird.
absolute first world problems.
it is.
Because my car doesn't have anything electronic except that isn't the radio. So, if in order for mine to start displaying in miles instead of in kilometers instead of miles, that would require taking out the entire dashboard. So, first world problems, Mr. Kendrick.
I apologize. I apologize. It was just funny when I basically put it to maintenance, and the guy in the garage, he was like, "Wait, that doesn't sound right. According to my data, it has way more kilometers on it. Mr. Swish, are you trying to cheat the system? You know, trying to make the car look less old than it actually is?" I was like, "Nope, sorry, it's miles."
Do you intend on selling this car soon?
Exactly. Are you trying to cheat on us here? But yeah, that was pretty funny.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That is quite strange. But yeah, the British, once again, we have our own eccentricities that don't make sense. It's just that people, anytime anyone suggests changing it, someone in power will just go, "No, this is how I was raised. This is how my kids will be raised because it worked for me."
All right. That put aside, though, there are good things for people in NA. If they're forced to use inferior measurements, at least they get new heroes a day earlier. That's good. That's at least a little something.
I keep hearing concerning popping noises, and I thought it was my light bulb just breaking. I think it's actually the tree outside hitting on my window because I just heard it be really windy outside.
Is there a storm raging on in your vicinity?
No, find out. No, just a bit windy.
Okay.
Little curtain there. Just have to
maybe
peek
you
out.
live
I
next
don't
to a
have the curtains
superhero.
open. I'm blind to the world.
I could just imagine you living next to a superhero, like in like a little superhero, like in his 5 or 6 years old, and then just trying to control the power by bending trees and trying to measure the power. That's what I just imagined.
And I'm just like, oh, the wind, as opposed to, oh, that's Captain Fantastic, and he's preparing for his first debut. But no,
You can't spoiler it on a Bliss Hero stream. You can't do that. You can't unveil the identity of your kid's neighbor's superpower.
Oh no, my neighbors. And I don't know any of their names. I'm a hermit. I'm a caster. It was fulfilling time because they seem to be taking a while to set up for the analysis segment here. So we are quite literally just filling for time.
I'm pretty sure that's what Yaya and the other guy are doing as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to call him the other guy, but we still don't know his name. We would love to hear his name once. Tell us. Maybe some of you guys.
I'll see if I can be prepared, and you guys are going to see my phone on camera next time we come back from a break. Because I'm going to see if I can get the lower third, and see if I can actually get him on it with a Google Translate or whatever.
Now, of course, we're in for a treat with a man that we all know. It is, of course, Nova, one of the most seasoned veterans in the Gold League Club. And he's going to take us through some more replay analysis with a beautiful pink dashboard. I love it.
I assume that's just notes on what he wants to talk about.
Think so.
Speaking of things to talk about, this is not surprising. Kaitu coming in here.
Fantastic. Kaitu on that Diablo, there is no other word to describe his performance other than fantastic. He was churning it up 2 games straight to the point where I would actually rate Diablo ban-worthy when you face KT and they're lining up for one of those combos. But here we go to game number 2, I think it is.